China, a nation that has experienced unprecedented growth for decades with huge cities and countless infrastructures, has been the center of marvel for many around the world. But what if I told you that hidden behind those tall buildings and busy streets is a huge problem that is quickly getting worse? So come along as we discover the real story behind China's crumbling economy and ultimately how the collapse of their housing market will affect you and me around the world. If this got you hooked, stick around, hit that like button, and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos. Now let's get into it. What many of the younger generations might not know is that China was not always the powerful giant that you see and hear on the news today. After World War II, this country was ravaged with war and poverty, causing much of their nation to collapse. It only started when a man known as Deng Xiao Ping took leadership and introduced what was known as the open door policy. The open door policy made it easy for Western countries to invest in China by opening its doors to foreign trade and investment, essentially transforming this country into an economic powerhouse that you see today. In return, the People's Republic would provide special incentives to foreign companies, such as giving them free economic zones, which basically meant letting those businesses do whatever they want. This caused a lot of money to flow into China, while at the same time helping China to become a major player in global trade. These changes worked really well, and it allowed the Chinese economy to grow by double digits annually. There were even times when it grew by more than 13% in a single year. To put that into perspective, that is trillions of dollars flowing to Chinese economy each year. As the people in China began making more money, their livelihoods got better as well. These changes were what caused China to grow so rapidly that it even became the second largest economy in the world in the short span of 30 years. China's rapid economic growth is an incredible story, and it doesn't stop there. This economic boom had a significant impact on many aspects of life in China, mainly on how people viewed their homes. In China, owning a house holds a very special place in people's hearts. It's more than just a place to live. It symbolizes financial success and stability. When someone owns a home, it's as if they proudly declare to the world, "I'm doing well in life, I'm safe and secure." It's like a badge of honor that many aspire to wear. What's interesting is that the Chinese government played a role in making home ownership even more appealing. They encouraged people to buy homes by offering financial support and incentives. For instance, they made it easier for folks to get loans to purchase houses, which meant more people could afford to buy their own place. This support from the government made owning a home seem even more important and achievable. Imagine it like this: if you had a favorite toy, and everyone said having that toy was a symbol of happiness and joy, and then your parents also made it easier for you to get that toy, it would make you even more excited to have it. That's basically what the Chinese government did with houses, making them more attainable and desirable. But it wasn't all sunshine and roses. As the housing market became a symbol of economic prosperity, it led to an increasing number of companies trying to scramble and provide enough housing for everyone. To make sure there were enough homes for all the people moving to the cities, Chinese companies built a ton of new houses and apartments. This is because big cities were experiencing rapid growth, and they needed more homes for all the new people coming in. But then something interesting happened. Many people started to treat home ownership like a kind of game. They didn't just buy homes to live in, they purchased them because they thought the prices of homes would keep going up, and the hope that they would get insanely rich from it. It's like collecting rare and valuable trading cards, and everyone wants to have as many as possible. The more cards you had, the richer you became. Similarly, the more houses you owned, the more money you could make as their prices only went up. This excitement from betting on houses caused home prices to shoot up, creating a frenzy to accumulate more and more houses. Because so many people were buying houses to make money, the prices of houses in big cities just kept soaring and soaring. It became challenging for regular people to buy a home. Imagine wanting to buy a toy, but the price keeps increasing daily, and you simply can't afford it. This situation made some people very rich, while others struggled to find a place to live. Because the demand for houses far outweighed the supplies, the companies who built these homes started to see why they could cut, whether it was resources, manpower, or even safety. Imagine if you made a house out of cardboard instead of strong bricks and wood. It wouldn't be very safe, right? Well, that's what happened with some buildings in China. They were built quickly, but because the quality of construction was so low, many of them were unsafe to live in. This resulted in what many Chinese called the tofu dreg housing buildings, or tofu houses for short. These tofu buildings are often poorly constructed, like those made from weak and crumbly tofu. Unfortunately, some of these buildings didn't last very long, and they would even collapse in extreme cases. This ended up creating big problems and safety concerns in many areas. So if that's the case, then why were they even built in the first place? Well, many factors contributed to the construction of tofu dreg houses. One of the main reasons is the massive amount of people moving to Chinese cities. As more and more people flock to cities, the demand for homes skyrockets. To keep up, builders have to construct houses faster at a lower cost. As a result, home builders often end up cutting corners with the homes they build. Think of it as building something important like a bridge or a tall tower. If you use weak and cheap materials, it might not be safe or last as long. That's what happens with tofu housing. Builders use low-quality materials and sometimes even take shortcuts to save on time and money. Imagine building a house with blocks that easily crumble, or a sandcastle that can be washed away by the first wave. This has made a lot of people worried, especially those who bought these homes or are currently living in them, fearing that the roof over their heads might collapse like a house of cards. There are also problems with water, electricity, and even keeping the right temperature inside. Unfortunately, even if the residents want to move, they simply can't because of how much money it would cost. The poor conditions in these buildings can also affect people's health. Living in a place that gives a constant source of anxiety while being unable to fix these problems has resulted in a lot of emotional and mental stress. Moreover, a lot of these homes were so improperly managed that it even caused an empty housing crisis in China. However, to fully understand this story, we need to dive deeper into the Evergrande Group, the key player in this story. The Evergrande company started in 1996 and was founded by the real estate tycoon Hui Kaiyan. The company was like the superstar of the real estate world, even becoming the most valuable one in the world with a whopping $53.7 billion in 2017. But in 2021, it ran into some serious money problems when they couldn't pay off all the money that they borrowed. This sent ripples throughout the Chinese housing market. One reason for this was that in 2021, the Chinese government put rules in place to stop giant companies like Evergrande from borrowing too much money, which made it tough for them to get more cash quickly. Plus, the housing market in China slowed down, which meant fewer people were buying houses, and the prices didn't go up like they used to. So, Evergrande had trouble making money and paying off their debts. Evergrande also expanded into other businesses like electric vehicles, reflecting China's innovation drive. But wait, there's more. Evergrande wasn't just into real estate. They wanted to do everything. They tried making electric cars and even owned some soccer teams. This might sound cool, but it used up even more of their money and made their financial problems worse. And because Evergrande was in too many sectors, its financial issues were a big risk to China's real estate market and the overall economy. This makes Evergrande a crucial player in China's economy. So when Evergrande went bankrupt, people who had invested or bought homes from them were worried about their money. Some even protested. Many experienced emotional distress and strained relationships, while they also expressed frustrations at the perceived lack of swift government intervention. Furthermore, because Evergrande went out of money, they could no longer afford to keep building or even maintain the empty houses that were still in construction. As a result, many of these homes were left empty, with the majority of them being unsafe to live in. The impact of this crisis extended beyond personal struggles, rippling through entire industries, causing job losses and economic uncertainty. However, amid all the financial issues that China is currently facing, is there still any hope for a comeback? Well, when we think about China's economy in the long term, there are reasons for both hope and uncertainty. On the bright side, China has a history of adapting and overcoming economic challenges, as their government is currently working to fix the mess caused by the Evergrande collapse. And while it's uncertain how long it will take for them to recover, one thing we're sure about is that the economic boom that China used to experience for the past 40 years may very well be coming to end soon. That wraps up our journey through China's crumbling economic story. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to click that subscribe button, like this video, and let us know in the comment section below what you would like to see next. Your support is greatly appreciated. See you in the next one.